Okay, let's talk about the markets a little bit. It still keeps sounding like a broken record. Yes, the market lost all the major indices yesterday. The total equity value fell below the 11 trillion naira. Since Wednesday last week, we've lost about 700 billion naira in the stock market. And that's a lot of blood on the street. Temple Ashaju is live to us from the stock exchange, and he has some of these numbers taking us through them as they happen. Temple, good morning. Welcome to the program. Let's throw this directly at you. So this is what you call a bit of a wipeout.
You're right, Bosun. We sank yesterday to 19th-month low, the lowest level since May 2017. That's why we found ourselves now. The all-share index is down, as I said yesterday, below the 30,000 psychological line, now at 29,000 psychological line. That's where we're going to. That's where we are today. And it looks like we're going to go way down further than that, because analysts have also kind of reached a consensus on this particular negative sentiment persisting in the market, as we've seen in recent times. The volume of transaction yesterday was positive, rose some 9% in the market. But if you look at the value of those transactions, it was really negative by some 16%. And we saw losses across major sectors, except for the consumer goods segment and, of course, the oil and gas side of the market, as some investors here, traders generally continue to rebalance their portfolio. If you look at the banking segment of the market, we saw huge volume traded here yesterday, and it was down 28 basis points. Consumer goods positive on account of the performance that we've seen in different counters there. The industrial goods segment was the major loser yesterday in the market. Dangote Cement single-handedly fell more than 8% yesterday in the market, and that weighed down that index down some 435 basis points. If you look at the fact that we're having some other news surrounding the consumer goods segment, Nigerian breweries, for example, got demoted yesterday from high-price stocks to a medium-price stocks. Now, we also got the news of two key companies that are also listed here in the market, Morrison Industries PLC and, of course, DN Mayer PLC. These companies got shot for some tax default by FIRS yesterday. Today, we'll be watching the performance of these two companies, the way this kind of news will impact on their performance in the market. In terms of the energy stocks, you've got only one stock changing positively, and that's O&O, because it has bottomed out in terms of losses. O&O did 4 naira 25 kobo yesterday after rising some 1.19%. We saw some 1.5 million units of its shares traded yesterday in the market. But if you look at corn oil, was unchanged. If you look at Forte oil, dipped some about 8%. 11 PLC also impacted, was down. It was actually positive, some 22 basis points. Fairly positive for that. Etana PLC had a bit of a change, but was down 9.20% in the market. At the NASD OTC, where you have unlisted securities trading, for the first time this week, was down some 0.32% to 735.93. We saw market cap ending at 528.72 billion naira, and volume was 909,621. Apparently, you've got some investors there selling down, just to take some profits out of the market due to the bullish sentiment that we've seen on that particular counter in recent time. But value yesterday was 22.841 million naira, and all that took place in just 24 deals. We really didn't get the details of transactions for the fixed income market from FMDQ yesterday, but basically we know that average yields yesterday was flat at 15.27%. We also know that yields contracted at the short end of the curve by 8 basis points. However, we saw demand for the February 2020 security, and that then brought down the performance by some 26 basis points. But then, if you look at the Treasury bills side of the market, it was more of a bullish sentiment. We saw yields falling by some 4 basis points to 15.42%, Bosun.
Tempo, thank you very much. Of course, the market will be looking forward, talking about the equity side. Those news that we expect and information about 2018 market and outlook for this year from Oscar Onyema, who is the head of the Nigerian Stock Exchange will be, we expect him to do the briefing on Monday, isn't it, about the 2018 market recap and 2019 outlook?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's correct, boss. And that will be for Monday. And we're expecting, it is traditional of the Nigerian Stock Exchange to come up with that World Press Conference in the first month of the year. And that is what we're going to be saying at this point in time. There we'll know the strategic position of the Nigerian Stock Exchange going forward. We'll also get more details about the way the market performed last year, 2018, the position that how we ranked in 2018 globally. If you compare that to, for last year, for the upper year, the preceding year, 2017, before the year 2018, we were number 4 globally. This year, we will be able to get the details, such details, again, from this press conference, which is scheduled for Monday, 14th of January. And, of course, we know a lot of time the demutualization is another area to watch. We will be hearing more from the Nigerian Stock Exchange at this press briefing, which is meant to be for 14th of January. Again, we know that where it had stopped, the latest we know of the demutualization was that it was meant to be gazetted after the approval was given by the President Muhammadu Buhari. So from this
okay, Temple, let's leave it there for now. Talked about Morrison Industries and all that, talking about the tax liabilities they've got. And these are companies that are largely moribund, as it were. So I'm sure, operationally speaking, they've got a lot of bills to pay.
Well, they do have a lot of bills to pay, as you said, but then there are some investors that still have money in these companies, and they will be watching the kind of impact that these will create on the performance for 2019 specifically. Because, again, if you look at DN Mayer, for example, it says that DN Mayer has a tax debt of 54.6 million naira, while it has a tax liabilities of 24.2 million naira. I mean, if you put that together, that's a huge sum of money, and if they have to be to get any form of sanction or thereabout from the FIRS, that will really speak to the profits or to the revenue for that company for 2019. So it goes a long way whether it's a small cap stock or not. This is for Morrison. Morrison has a tax debt of 19.81 million naira, according to what we've seen in the dailies. So by the time you square all of this up, it's a major concern for investors. We haven't seen any difference in the numbers of this company this morning. These are companies that are lots of time they are on offer in the market. So, but before the market closes today, we'll be watching to see how this will impact on their performance for the trading day here. Another company that we're tracking is the Nigerian breweries, that the Nigerian Stock Exchange also kind of relegated from the high price stock class down to medium price stock. Now we know that in recent times the competition in that space, the brewer space, has been impacting on Nigerian breweries. Consolidated Breweries was a particular company that they took over some time ago, and that was expected to actually shape the kind of performance that the company will be having. But you know, much hasn't changed. We know of another company that has come into the system, into the space here, and is changing, kind of breaking the monopoly for this particular company. So we'll continue to watch to see how these companies will perform today in the markets, coupled with the fact that we still have uncertainties in the system. We've been seeing negative trading sessions in the past few days since this 2019 actually commenced, and that is due to the general elections. So we'll wait and see how things change for these companies going forward. However, as we speak in the markets, the key benchmark index is currently flat. We know that the Diamond Bank is about the only company that has seen some gains in the markets as we speak, up some good percentage points, and now trading around 1 naira 90 kobo. Of course, GT Bank is back to 32 naira. We don't know if that is sustainable, but we also have Lasaco as well as Law Union as two key insurance companies currently found on the top gainers chart. Wema Bank is moving away from 58 kobo the way it's closed yesterday, and is likely to close higher today because it's currently trading at 60 kobo bosun.
Tempo, thank you very much. But just as you're hanging in there, let's just bring this to everyone's notice. Tempo, and you need to listen to this as well. MRS Nigeria PLC, that oil retailer, has announced the immediate resignation of his managing director, Andrew Bodume, the managing director and chief executive of MRS Oil Nigeria PLC, has resigned, and the company says that comes with an immediate effect, and he's now being replaced by the head of the group sales and marketing manager, who is now in the acting capacity as the managing director of MRS Oil Nigeria PLC, Mrs. Priscilla Thorpe Apezuga, who is, of course, been in the company, is now replacing the managing director who has resigned from the company and is being replaced with immediate effect. That's coming from MRS Oil Nigeria PLC, a change of the managing director over the last couple of hours, as it were. The stock exchange and the investment community is being advised by this notice just been served bright and early today. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Let's put that in our news box, part of what we'll discuss again tomorrow moving forward. I'll see you tomorrow.